Take me home tonight. Listen, honey, just like Ronnie said. Just like Ronnie said.
All right. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the unofficial official podcast from Straight No Chaser. This is episode number 16.
Wow.
I can't believe we've made it this far. As always, I am Mike Luganbill, and I am joined here in this room right now with Segi and Tyler. As always,
Hello.
what's up, guys? How you doing?
Hello, everyone.
This week we have another. What's that?
So we're doing well.
This week we have another special guest who's going to sit in on the pod with us. One of the three OGs of the group who is in the group right now. I would say probably the most O of the OG, Jerome Collins. What's up, man?
Nice.
Sorry,
Oh, that's how we started things off?
I-
O stands for original.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what you're the most original.
You are actually. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Thank
Who
you
else
so much
would wear a
for
Puma
thanks for
sweatshirt?
having me.
Super original.
Yeah, dude,
Um,
thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And
thanks
so
for being
again,
here.
I can't cuss, and we don't talk race, religion, or politics. Correct?
No, we'll save that for the Patreon.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want, but I'm
But- Can I drink?
I'm likely going to edit it.
You
out.
can have your
So
water.
there's that.
I'm grown, so I should.
You can have your water.
So we're so happy to have you with us this evening. We ended the week. We just got done with an 8-show week, and we just got to California. We spent most of the day on the bus. How was that for you guys? It was
long.
it was
we're
a
used
long
to-
day today, right?
As people know, people are used to us. We're used to it, but we drive at night. So we do the show. We get on the bus at night. We hang out for a second with everybody, and then once the bus gets rolling, we usually go to sleep, and we wake up in the next city. Since we had to go so far today, we drove and we got here at about 3 o'clock Pacific time.
3:30. Yeah.
we were on
Over
the-
1,000 miles.
We drove really
That's a long
far.
way.
It was tough, especially as a regular pooper. It was really tough not to be able to go to the bathroom early in the morning.
How did
So-
you manage that?
A lot of cramps. Yeah, we did stop at a rest stop, but I'm just not a public pooper either, so I don't like to go
Yeah.
and.
We're getting it real
Just-
right away.
Just to explain
So I
to
thought this is podcast
Hey,
fuck all
it's
things,
there,
right?
you want,
It's
man.
great.
just to explain to everybody. So there is a bathroom on the bus, but there is a general touring rule on tour buses that the bathroom is for number one only. So that's why that happens.
Usually you're there at the venue in the morning and get up and go do your business.
So we're just
Alcohol.
outside San Diego right now, and we have a show here tomorrow. We're going to be doing something in the morning too.
TV
Like a local
appearance
TV hit in the
Local
morning.
San Diego.
Yeah. So those are always fun. I know we're all looking forward to that after a long day on the bus.
He's being sarcastic because we get these requests
Month.
like months or weeks in advance. And we're always like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. Of course, we want to do that. That's a great opportunity to get out there and get our name out on TV and hopefully reach some new fans. And then it's the night before, and we're like, oh, we got to be up
And we're
6 in the
looking
morning
at our 7 a.m.
and start
lobby
warming
call.
up and then Uber for an hour. We're like, why did we ever agree to do this?
And
But
hotel
it's
tomorrow morning. Our hotel is going to hear a whole lot of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of warming up. In the
For-
morning. We got to
for-
sing
yeah.
in the morning, don't we? Yeah.
As people might be aware, mornings are not kind to singers because your voice isn't warmed up yet. So you got to
unless
start.
you're Luke Bob, doesn't matter.
Yeah, he just sings low.
So on this episode of the unofficial official podcast, we are going to recap the shows from this week, and we're going to have a conversation with Rome about his whole journey from Allentown all the way through Indiana up until what he was doing after Indiana, up until the group got signed. So I'd like to start there, actually, Jerome. You're from Allentown, right?
Allentown, PA.
And you went to Indiana. And what year were you at Indiana?
It was the last year of dinosaurs. Oh no, 1995. I was an opera major.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people know that. I was musical. I wanted to be an opera singer until I got to Indiana, and then my teacher realized quickly that opera wasn't my calling, but R&B was.
No way.
He said, "You don't
Could
want to
have
be
been Andrea Bocelli.
Nice.
you don't want to be Pacelli or Pavarotti. You want to be
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye." I was like,
How soon after you got there was that a realization?
pretty much my sophomore year, freshman year, I huddled around trying to think that I could do this. But listen, nothing wrong to the opera singers. Opera takes a certain type of discipline, and not to say I'm not a disciplined singer, but I wanted to at least live a college life, have some fun. And I think as a opera, you're constantly working on language, constantly, and it's just I wanted to, this is the cool part of singing, where you're able to take liberties because, doing opera and musical theater, you're stuck to a strict type of program that you need to do or you get noticed. So like for a while I was doing Lion King and the line is, I'm gonna be a mighty king. They wanted to hear that every time.
Yeah, do that
But
exactly
But
perfect.
if you did,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a mighty king.
Because people want to hear what they know,
Yeah, they wanna hear
right?
the hits.
So
Yeah, they're not here to
that's
see Jerome. They're here to see Simba.
yeah,
So
that's
it's like,
why. That's
so I
why.
was like, okay. And then so this came a call, and this gives me the freedom.
So you would have been a junior then at the time? Is that right?
No, 1996. I was a sophomore. Yeah, I was
Okay.
out of my sophomore year. And that's when we first took our first summer working together in Navy Pier. I was splitting time between Navy Pier and I was also working with Star of Indiana doing some brass theater stuff. I knew that we were on to something when we all decided to dedicate a summer to sticking together and making this a real thing. I think that the early guys we really took pride in this. We're like, man, if
Absolutely.
we're gonna make this, let's go all in. So it's cool. But look,
Yeah, it's a big commitment. Most of the time, the groups in college will be together throughout the, scholastic year, but then the summertime they'll go off and do their own thing. But the fact that you guys were like, let's come together and do this thing at Navy Pier, like that shows real commitment and shows why the group had success at Indiana and had popularity at school. Because you guys were in it, you guys wanted to do it, and you had that confidence.
And you also, it wasn't just convincing the guys, right? For a lot of college students, it's convincing the parents. I was fortunate enough to have parents that paid for my college. So if I were to stay there over the summer, they were going to have to continue to pay for me to stay there. So having the parents buy in, I'm sure was awesome, having that support and knowing that they were backing you guys and into it and like very supportive of the fact that you guys were doing that. But before we go too much further, why don't we rewind
nice.
to your childhood? Like, when did you start singing? When was it like, okay, this is something I like doing and I'm pretty good at it?
So look, for me, it's pretty easy. My parents have always said the story. I was able to sing before I could walk and do anything. I would be in the back of the Buick. Yeah, see, we even drove a Buick back then. The guys say that I'm the whitest black guy they know because I fish, I golf, and I drive a Buick, and I live in Florida. But I always knew that I wanted to be a singer.
Yeah.
Singing was in my blood. My great grandmother, we'd have memories of us singing together, and everyone said, "You just wanted to do."
And you weren't even the best singer in your family, right?
No, truth be told, my sister was the best. All I ever wanted to do is try to be as good as my sister. She was the best singer, the best dancer of the family.
Okay.
I had these short dreams of trying to be an athlete, but I was never going to grow.
Very short,
I-
specifically with height.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk off of this.
We're being real, right?
Yeah, I mean,
You weren't
I'm-
tall enough.
I'm
None of us,
5'9".
none of us are tall
Anyway.
enough for sports.
Okay. Wow. Still thought I had a dream to make it somehow in ping pong.
Still got golf.
So no, but so singing our weekends consisted of Soul Train, and my sister would show the new dances. My dad and mom would show us the old school dances. So as it evolved, I just became like young Michael Jackson. I just took over the Jackson 5 family, took over the singing talent, and my whole family did nothing but support me.
Oh, yeah.
My dad always made me get up and sing
nice.
at every family gathering. And now it worked because now I never have any stage fright. Because boy, get up and sing for the people now. Get him sing a song. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
did
you
do
never-
that too. I did like at Christmases and stuff. My parents would make me like either you're gonna play the piano, or you're gonna I didn't sing then, but or play the trumpet. So I had to do something,
Yeah.
perform for everybody. But that
And I tried everything. I wish I was, I took tap dance. I did jazz. I did all the theater. Music was the calling. So I joined a boys choir. I was in the boys choir for a few years, traveled the world as a young man. Then I got to go to Indiana, and look, joining Singing Hoosiers probably was one of the best things I've ever done in life because it became the rest of my life singing with
Right.
my best friends.
Yeah.
And we're friends. I don't know about the bestest, but we're all cool.
Why Indiana?
At the time, Indiana was competing with Juilliard as the #1 music school in the country.
Oh.
And nobody left Allentown to go that far to school.
Yeah.
We had so many schools around us, the Penn States. Even if you were in music,
Right.
you had Juilliard, you had all these other schools. But it was just something about going to Indiana. I walked on that campus. It was a beautiful day. I'll never forget as long as I live. It was a beautiful day. It was a 70-degree day. Snow was melting. I found a crumbled up dollar bill on the Mac floor as we're doing a tour. And I turned to my mom and I said, I'm going to come to Indiana. And
Okay.
It was a vibe. And
Here, Mom, put this towards my out-of-state tuition.
yeah. I was mad it was only $1, but no, it was a sign. And yeah,
Absolutely.
And then I saw someone that said, "My kid and my money go to Indiana University." I said, "I'm going to get you that shirt because
Oh,
what
that's funny.
I wanted to." And look, the rest is history. I mean, met some of my best friends, and even though some of those guys have gone on, I've the other guys that filled them. You guys have been here for a while,
Mhm.
so I consider you guys originals, a record deal signers.
Sure.
So yeah, man, this has been a dream come true, and just I always told my parents, all I want to ever have you see is my name in lights. So,
All right.
They got that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Mama, I made it.
So you graduate in '99 from Indiana, is that right?
Yeah, I took the extra lap because Straight No Chaser was very successful at the time. I stayed an
That's
extra
right.
year because that was like an important year that Straight No Chaser was starting to really be. We were gigging a lot. We were gigging like 4 or 5 days a week, and it was just like, hey, I could take basket weaving and sing with the group, and I didn't do too well at basket weaving, but I did do well with the group, and the group took off. I mean, it just took off, and I was like, man, I wasn't ready. Hey, I had another year of eligibility, so I wanted to use it. I was having fun. Come on, bro. Who could-
Yeah, I remember I auditioned when it was your last semester, right?
I remember
Yeah.
your audition as if I could
That was
see it.
wild.
Ryan and you together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And interesting story. And I'm sorry, Mike, I'm going to embarrass you.
Fine, go ahead.
Mike came into this audition. He had just had surgery and his jaw was wired shut. Yeah.
Right.
The boy had rubber bands on there.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
I don't know if I should.
How'd you sing?
Yeah.
I had
You're just so handsome there. Like
I had a
he
little
said,
bit of movement. I had a
in for
bit
the
of
sororities,
No,
guys.
see,
This
that's
is
the
our
thing.
end.
I had a bit of movement.
But
in there,
no, but see, there was a problem. A lot of guys, some of the guys had questioned, hey man, he has a speech impediment.
Yeah.
He did jaw surgery.
yeah.
But as soon as he opened his mouth, that boy said, "Oh yeah, forget
Yeah.
all that."
I got
And,
really lucky.
yeah.
I'll say that.
No, it's not even luck. Hey, you got talent, homie.
Well,
It takes.
It's not about me right now. but
takes
yeah,
some-
No, oh yeah, back to me. This is about
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah.
This
It,
is about
it definitely takes some El Cajones to go to
Hey,
an audition
no,
with
sure,
your mouth
sure,
wired shut.
sure.
so being a needy performer.
Yeah.
That's from the show. It goes back to me. No, this group, the way that they form and the way that still continues, is
Mhm.
probably the best way to have longevity. A lot of groups that have such, you see these big groups that shot up and made fame. We know we're never going to be famous.
Mhm.
We know we're never going to be big time, but we love being in this circle, right?
We know our lane.
Yeah,
We know our lane.
So
Dang,
so you leave IU in 1999, and what's the next move?
5 of the original guys
Okay.
started the group. We moved to Indianapolis. It's time to get material together. We hated
It was
each other.
you. It was Mike. It was Dan, Steve.
And Charlie.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, amateur.
A true professional.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, Aaliyah and Bryson, can I call you guys back? I'm on a famous podcast. Corolla's here. All these famous people. Howard Stern.
No, the
Jerome
family
answered the
cannot wait.
FaceTime
And it
while we're on the
shouldn't
pod.
wait.
I'll call you guys.
It shouldn't wait.
Hey, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Family
Mike.
first.
Yes.
Family first.
No,
Oh, yeah.
That is
It's
look.
always
I'm on the
family
podcast.
first.
Look,
Hey guys.
Hey, see. What's up, guys? Yeah. Hey, so
They're not used to him telling the
Hey,
truth.
I'll call you guys right back. Okay. I love you. Look, all right. I call you. All right. Bye. Sorry. So don't edit that.
Live show.
No, we're leaving that in. We're leaving that in.
So what was I saying?
What's the move
After-
after?
Oh,
you
yeah,
did-
You guys
yeah.
went to Indy, the
Yeah.
I
five
went
of
to
you
Indy
guys.
for 6 months.
What was the
And then
name of the group? The 5-man group?
10 to 5.
10 to 5. Because you
Yeah.
went from 10 in SNC to 5 in
Right.
this group.
So we actually got very lucky. The worst way you want to meet, I met a guy on a plane who knew a guy who knew a guy that could get us a record deal.
It's always how it happens.
His name was Freaky T. Shout out to Freaky T. But
Sounds very
Of course,
trustworthy.
that was his name.
Freaky T. So we
He also got us to invest
and
all of our
DJ
money
Edge,
into
Freaky T
Enron.
and DJ Ed. Shout out.
And DJ Edge.
Yeah, this is
Shout
real stuff.
out.
Y'all get some real stories here. This is some real stuff. So I almost cursed there and I didn't. But so then Freaky T says, hey man, I got these 2 guys that live in Atlanta and they got the hookups to all the record companies and y'all should come see them. So we all moved to Atlanta. We packed up our bags
Just based on that conversation.
based on
It's
that
on Freaky
conversation.
D.
Based on Freaky T and DJ
That's
Edge.
freaky faith.
Yeah. And so we all go down to Atlanta and they introduce us to this guy, John Halcott and Donald Parks. And they were legit. They said, hey, they fell in love with the song that Dan had written. No other, no other one.
She's got
Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah. Well, yes. Nice,
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah,
So they were impressed with the song. So they're like, "Yo, this is hot."
yeah.
So we met the guys. They gave us a list of what they did. They had worked in the early days with the Keith Sweat indie babyface circle.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
so-
that's right.
They did what they said they were going to do. They took us in front of every label. We went to New York. We went to Capitol. We went to RCA. We went to Elektra. We went to all of them. And it wasn't until the last one, RCA was the last one we auditioned for. And the president, Bob James, at the time, I love this. But the boy bands were dying off.
Yeah.
So they weren't real sure what they wanted to do with us because we weren't boys. We graduated college.
Yeah.
So, and we're not going to be a boy band. We're a man band. But it was like, hey, wherever you put us,
Yeah,
is where
we'll do whatever it
do
takes.
whatever
Yeah.
it takes. Lo and behold, they signed us to a record deal. We got to travel and meet some of the. We were in studios where Boys to Men recorded "End of the Road."
Oh,
We're
cool.
working with these. Man, we're on cloud 9, and they sat on us. Nothing
Mm.
happened. We recorded all this stuff. The good thing we did get advance. We'd have to get back. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that-
so they
there's that.
yeah. But yeah, we didn't do nothing. So it was really heartbreaking. So then again, just like we did Straight Chaser, we broke off, went our own ways.
So you guys were living in, or all of you
Yeah,
were
we're
living
picking
in
up day jobs
Atlanta.
out
Were
there.
you working or?
Yeah, I was at
Were you guys doing stuff on the
Applebee's,
side?
bro. I was
Okay.
at Applebee's. Dan was teaching
Sure.
a voice at Guitar City.
Right. So you guys were doing other.
Yeah, we're doing what you
But
you were
other
trying to make
stuff
it
to
on
get
Broadway
you-
while we're trying to make it.
Yeah.
They're giving us an advance, but the advance wasn't enough to quit our jobs and
Mhm.
buy Porsches. But we just couldn't believe
Man,
it.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Then we all move away. That's when everybody did their dance, started to do other things.
Mhm.
When then when Straight No Chaser came back to call, it was like, all right, we've had this happen before.
Right.
Or is this really what we're
Yeah.
doing? Are we doing this again? But I was like, you know what? This is where I first learned to give it an old college try. I was like, let's just do it, see what happens. And look, now we're just like
And you were in Hong Kong, is this right?
Hong Kong
Hong
doing
Kong.
Simba and the Lion King. And I'll never forget the call, Dan and Randy calling me. It was 4:30 my time.
How'd you get that gig?
Auditioning, man. Look,
Okay.
I decided I thought R&B was maybe not the route to go down.
Yeah.
Maybe musical theater is my calling. Maybe I'll be the next Ben Vereen or something like. But I switched my whole gears from this R&B record life to theater world,
Mm.
which, look, it's not a bad world. The problem is it's not enough stability. Shows will open and then close. So you're bouncing around. It's never a long thing. And living in New York was fun, but this was literally a blessing in disguise because I was questioning whether musical theater was the way to continue doing this life.
So after Atlanta, you moved to New York.
First, I moved to Chicago.
Oh, Chicago
I
first.
thought I'd do Chicago.
Wait, didn't you do Grease?
Did Grease?
Yeah.
That's where I did Grease. So nice,
Got it.
Tyler,
I remember that.
you
Yeah.
guys doing his research?
Yeah.
I just totally randomly remember that.
Wikipedia. on
Wow.
it?
Oh man.
So,
So
yeah,
you
I
go
went-
from
so I went
Atlanta, Chicago, New York,
City,
and then you go to Hong Kong.
Then I go to Hong Kong.
Wow, that's a couple of big moves in
Yeah, and now
how much time? Like,
yeah,
is that
and
how
now
much-
I'm on-
A
and now
couple
I'm on-
years.
Yeah, it was. Look, that I was the definition of chasing a dream.
Mm.
I was gonna do it. I was gonna do it however I could get there, however I was gonna make it, even if that meant that I had to be doing tech on something. I just wanted this stage life so bad because coming from Allentown, yeah, it was a big fish, a small. Then I went to Indiana, made that a big fish, and then I got out there in the real world and realized, woo, I'm a minnow, bro. Like
Mhm.
this was eye opening to know that it ain't that easy. It takes more than
Hard. Yeah.
and it's about your connections. You could be the best singer in the world. When we walk down Nashville, speaking of good singers, I walk down Broadway and I hear these artists singing and I'm like, how are they not signed?
Right.
I mean, it's mostly luck.
Yeah.
It's about continuing to sharpen your tools and your craft and just keep putting yourself out there and wait for that luck
Yeah.
part to happen where someone notices and gives you that opportunity. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot easier nowadays to make it on your own with all the different platforms with TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and everything. But man, like 30 years ago, there was no making it on your own. Like you needed somebody to give you that opportunity because unless you were like super rich and you could just do whatever you wanted, then you can make it on your own. But no, and back then it was like literally you have to grind until somebody notices.
Yeah. I
Somebody
mean,
with
we
a key to a
literally-
door.
We literally would go in the dorms. Look, we'd knock on the girls' floors and knock on their doors. Each guy knock on a door and they come out, and it was almost like hot or not. Hey, are we good or we not? So it was like
Yeah.
it was a risk. So I think that what's the beauty of continuing to do is people say, "Why you still do this, Jerome?" It's the fact that I have found a thing that I love to do, and I have friends that have a common interest in what I
Sure.
do to help make what we do
Mhm.
the best thing we can ever do. I take pride in that.
How long were you in Hong Kong?
9 months. Did it
9 months. That's
yeah,
it?
9 months.
Okay, I thought it was longer
Yeah,
than that.
because that's when I was absolutely ready to sign another contract, and then the call came. I'll never
Oh,
forget.
no way.
Yeah,
That's how it happened?
yeah. Randy and Dan called me today. Atlantic Records wants to sign us. Wants to put the man getting that call. We're getting the band back.
You ever
together
think
was the
about
first
what would have
thing ever.
happened if you would have signed another deal and you may still be over there? Who knows?
Yeah, there's a movie that I like to say things to. It's called Sliding Doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sliding Doors is like if you would have chose
Yeah.
a different life, would have been, where would you be? I would be a professional athlete, Steggy, since you think I'm so short.
Yeah, like darts,
Yeah,
bowling.
shuffleboard. It's, no,
Shuffleboard's
That's wild.
fun. I like shuffleboard.
shuffleboard is fun.
Fun, yeah. We should
So I'm sure it was hard to leave that though, because it was a job, a
Stability.
consistent thing,
Yeah,
and then you're leaving and you're like,
Coming
okay,
back,
well,
coming back
I'm gonna
to,
go
like,
see if
your
this
friends, which
works.
sounds really fun, but you don't know if it's going to be
Exactly.
anything.
This-
Yeah.
Is it going to pay the bills?
Look, I'm a stern believer in this saying the greatest risk is not taking one, because that's all I ever did my whole life. I took risks because I just, man,
Right.
if I don't take the time to put myself out there, who's going to fight for me? Besides, I believed in myself enough to take a risk on myself. So
Yeah.
it was, I went to Indiana. I was going to be the best opera singer there was. Realized quickly, this was not my calling. Everybody knows, like they say with marriage and like kids, like when you know, but like I did. I knew that R&B, this music was my calling, but I wanted to do with guys that had the same likes and interests as me, and I'm in it. I get to. We're not working, fellas. Every day that we're out here, the work is being with our families. No, but when you're on that
Work.
stage, it's
No, I
it's-
know what you
Yeah,
mean.
that's fun.
you're getting to do.
No, I
what
know
you
what you
love,
mean, but
as opposed to going and sitting in a cubicle that I got to get spreadsheets done, and I know no.
yeah, I mean, it's still work
Different-
though.
different
Yeah,
concept,
it,
yeah.
it's still
But when I'm on that stage, the
Sure.
work is getting there and the afterwards.
the preparation and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah.
On stage, we're not working. We're doing
Yeah.
what we love. We get to sing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't got to
Yeah.
give no presentations. With what's the thing they used to projector? What the little thing?
Yeah,
called?
like
Jeez.
You
I
used
don't
to
know,
put the
like
thing on the light and it would blow. Anyway, I'm not sure my age.
A
What's it
little bit.
called though?
Projector?
Yeah, overhead projector.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We had that in high school.
Yeah, they had the little clear sheets that they wrote on with markers.
Yeah, I was like RV.
Yeah.
I got to roll it out. It's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
What else are we doing? Let's keep it going. What
Yeah,
you got
no,
next
I was
week?
trying to think of where. So we got you got the call from Dan, Randy. Now and of course that first year nobody knew what it was going to be. So
Yeah, we made zero money. It was a very scary. I think we had 10 shows.
yeah.
I think it was 8.
Eight, yeah. And it was just like, we all looked at each other. Is this something we really?
and you were living in New York at the time, right? So you moved
Yes.
back to New York
So
from Hong
super
Kong.
low rent,
Yeah.
very low rent.
Really, price is just, oh man, parking my car was
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Let's not get into them dates. But anyway, New York, and I got back there and I just thought, man, this was the lowest, besides getting cut from RCA, the lowest I have felt.
Well, I mean, it was the beginning of something, yeah.
Yeah,
But you didn't know what it was going to be at the time.
exactly.
So
So it's like,
yeah, it's tough.
I'm not
to-
going to close up my tent
Yeah.
and go home. I'm
And
gonna
also,
move on.
you have to look at it from someone else's perspective. Think about every other band or artist who has that feeling, but over the course of teen years when they're grinding, playing gigs and clubs and bars for no people, just to try to get signed. You know, like this group was fortunate to basically just cut in line, right?
Yeah.
And just go right to getting signed, and then having to have a little bit of a grind, but basically the getting signed part is what everyone is chasing,
Especially
right?
back then.
Especially
Right
back
now
then.
it's-
Now
yeah.
it's a little bit different.
Good brother, dog.
And they all, I mean, they all, not to say that it wasn't a total, the first year wasn't a total failure. The Holiday Spirits, the first album,
Went to
recorded,
#1.
went to #1 on iTunes, which at the time, being #1 on iTunes, that's a
No,
real deal.
Yeah.
That's a real,
That was
yeah.
telling my friends.
So there was
we slap
something
shots at
there.
it,
Yeah.
But it's just funny to think about, like, man, your lowest moment in this band was something that most artists have to endure for a decade or more.
Yeah.
There's bands out there now, right now, that are probably the best band anyone's ever heard that will never make it.
Yeah.
No one will ever hear them. They'll never become anything. Not based on talent, not based on anything other than just
And plus,
sometimes
you
it
know,
works and
our group
sometimes
is
it doesn't.
fun. You don't have a group that continues to have this success and longevity that we had with this many members. I can't really think of a lot of groups that are still together after these years.
Yeah.
Not just with the record deal, but still together.
Yeah.
Still friends and like still hang out when we're not on stage. And
Hey, bro, there's nothing like hanging
Yeah.
with the
people are always surprised by that. Like
man.
all the stories we've heard from like our numerous drivers over the years or tour managers or whatever, they're always amazed that we're still around and we still enjoy each other's company. And I think I would say a lot of it has to do with the fact that we were all basically adults when we got this opportunity.
Yeah.
And we all came from the real world other than Tyler.
I didn't. I wasn't.
No,
in
he was
fake
singing on
world
a
of
cruise ship. He was on a
sorry.
Yeah.
similar.
I was too.
So you're
I-
like saying silver
I-
spoon, you rich dog, you got money like that. Dog?
I moved to LA, but I was in school and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I had student loans, man.
But
I
like,
never had to get I never had a job.
well, Hollister.
But Hollister.
Wait, you worked at the college mall?
Yeah.
I managed a Hollister when I lived in Bloomington after the ships when I was in the Mitchell Street Band.
Oh, did you
Wow.
That was
rush
my
Hollister
side.
all the time?
It was my side gig, and I was one of the managers there, and the health insurance was awesome.
At Hollister,
Yeah,
really?
it was a huge
Is
deal.
Hollister still a thing?
See, I'm not
And
working there.
and I
I
swear, I
think
think that was one of the reasons why, because I was like, all right, I was 23, and I was like, I need to get a job, but I want to be in this band. I want to write songs. I want to be in a band. Blah blah blah. And it was
Thanks,
just a
bro.
way to keep that going.
I couldn't ever see
Um,
myself working. My
but
best
no,
friend
it was
worked at
great.
Penny Shoes.
I don't even think I didn't know much about that. It like,
Retail?
yeah, it wasn't my thing. No,
So you were very qualified for this position.
You look like American Eagle ass.
or something like
Sorry,
that. But
I couldn't
anyway,
help.
it was just never
Abercrombie
my
and
thing.
Fitch for sure.
But
There we go.
Yeah, Abercrombie.
Anyway.
Fitch, yeah.
But my point is,
I was doing when I was in that band. But
my point is that like
American Eagle look.
we all came from the real world,
Sure.
whether that was
Of course.
a corporate job or not a
Yeah.
band
sure.
job.
Yeah.
So I think we have that appreciation, that levity, right?
Yeah.
That I
But
think
in a
that,
way, I was still doing that though. I was in the music world,
yeah,
like still, even though I wasn't really working. All of us are now, obviously.
yeah.
But
But you were still like chasing.
sure. Oh, yeah,
the dream, right?
absolutely, absolutely chasing. Yes.
So for me, the interesting thing is I realized how much I love music when I had to do a real job. So when I got back to New York, my side job, I had to work. I was a marketing director for Snapple, a promotions team. Bruh, we would go to any street festivals and set up the Snapple truck, and you get to try Snapple, and I would tell Snapple facts and things of that nature.
Oh, under the
you know.
cap, they have the little jokes.
Yeah, I had them
Okay.
all. I had to have them all to give
Okay.
away things. Here's the question: why are there 7 points to the crown on the Statue of Liberty?
Why are there 7 points
What does it stand for?
on the
One
Statue of
for each
Liberty crown?
continent.
Don't know.
One, I don't know.
What'd you say?
One for each continent.
Yes. Thank you.
Wow.
Look at
Yeah,
the big
7.
Brains
I
up
just
front.
guessed because it's give me your weak, give me your poor. We'll take them from anywhere, right?
But things
So
like
any
that, I give
continent.
away
Wow.
free gas
Wow.
cards. if
Wow.
you could,
Okay, I didn't know that either.
If you could get,
I just guessed. I didn't
That's-
know that.
That's
I just
very.
I was trying
Who
to
was
think
the
of what
singer
what is
songwriter
in
who you
sevens.
worked with?
I got him started. He still ain't gonna give me my.
This is a
props.
good story though,
So-
right?
The guy you worked with at Snapple?
So I'm working at Snapple.
Yeah.
We're doing a street festival. My buddy says to us and the managers, "Hey, I've got a friend who can do some entertainment while we're handing out Snapple. He plays singer songwriter, plays guitar, and comes on site.
Oh, is this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just,
I think I know
give
this.
it away.
I didn't say anything.
You were about to. Anyway, so Collins. So he says, "Hey, I got this guy. He's really good. He can entertain. We'll pay him $100 for the day." All right. So he comes, shows up for 2 days, plays. I actually sing with him a couple times. We're slinging Snapples and singing. Cuts to a few years later, living in West Palm Beach. Mike's parents give me a call, send me a text. Hey, we're going downtown near where you lived at the time. I lived downtown West Palm. Why don't you come meet us? We're gonna go see one of our favorite performers right now. I was like, sure. So my wife and I go down there, and all of a sudden there's a guy that stands on the stage and starts singing. There's all these people that mob him are standing there singing. Like, I know this guy. They're like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, yeah. No, I know this guy. We hired him for a Snapple gig. So I go stand up in the back of the stage, back of the house, outside. I'm standing in the back. He looks over and he goes, Jerome Collins. I walk over. It's none other than Andy Grammer.
Oh, that's cool.
So we hired this dude for $100 a day to sing. And
Small
now
world, man. That's
and,
crazy.
yeah.
All over the place.
Why didn't you take that hundo?
Yeah.
You could have done it.
Back then I was. That's why I wish I was trying to play a guitar now. I can't stand up there. Show Mike, dog.
It's good. It's good. Go ahead.
Up your budget.
Yeah, there is none.
We have a budget of 0.
Zero, yeah.
There you go.
So-
Okay, hey, come on.
So
let's
if you'd
get
like
some-
to help, please.
Yeah. So anyway, Andy
This
Grammer.
podcast is performing at a
Andy Grammer,
loss.
but at the time, Andy Grammer said, "It's so good to see you, Jerome. Straight No Chasers blowing up." So at the time, he's recognizing what I'm doing
Oh, cool.
all over Snapple. So
We should do a track with him.
yeah, and I tried to get Snapple to sign us because it was all natural, all acapella, but they ain't got no money in the budget. So we go mess with
Yeah.
the budget. Is the microphone? See, boy, look,
Yeah,
y'all-
there it is. There it is. There
y'all
we go.
please
It's back.
help
It's
this
back.
podcast.
No,
'cause
no.
they got no microphone. If
Mic.
you're listening, we sure could use some mics.
No, it's low budget, but
Yeah, send us a check. We're good on mics.
it's low budget, but hey, it's episode number 16, so
Yeah,
Why?
for me to be on.
because we're gonna save the best for last.
But Walt still got to go.
Well, second to last. That's what I meant.
Oh, Vanessa Williams, save the best.
So after all this time, man, like it's just wild that we're here and we're in the middle of a, I don't know, 60 some show run, and it's been a wild ride. And I know the first couple of, or I'd say the first couple of years were a little, didn't really know what was going on, but
Little Rocky Road.
now we're here and
From the bottom, now we're
right.
here.
And why don't we go ahead and recap the week of shows, guys? What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, so where'd we start?
Like a special song, recap.
No, we need,
No, but
we
we
need to get
need to
some
have
music.
one.
Start.
You guys gotta have a sound effect, man.
We'll get there.
we
We'll get
just told
there.
you we'd have any budget.
We'll get there.
We'll get
So
there,
the
man.
podcast last time that we did was on Monday, and it was with Fredo, and that was
We
when
were
we
in-
went to Denver, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Denver.
And was there anything about that show that stood out that you guys liked that you didn't like that was memorable?
For me,
What
what
was
stood
it?
out is the fact that the audience came back because we had to cancel that show.
Yeah,
That
that's
did-
all.
it
You
was a
never know how
reschedule.
those are gonna go, right?
And you moved the show from a Saturday to a Monday.
Monday, yeah.
That's a huge deal. So the fact that these people came out and supported us on a Monday, it was. I still thought it was. They call it small but mighty. It was a great crowd.
Yeah, the crowds in Denver are always great. It was interesting that we didn't really sell great in Denver this year. We did 2 shows in Denver last year.
Yeah.
And even like this year when they were doing the routing, they were like, maybe we should add a second show. And we're like, let's hang on, let's see how the first show does. And there's a lot of industry talk about election years and just things generally being slower on election years. Marketing is harder to come by in election years. Buying TV ad time or radio ad time or print ad time or print ad space during an election year is going to be exponentially more expensive. So the dollar doesn't go as far. So ultimately, we chalk it up to Denver being that.
But
Yeah.
it was a fun show though. Like
It
you
was.
said, we
The
didn't
crowd,
know.
the people that were there
we
were
didn't-
loving it.
We never know how that's going to go over when you have to reschedule. We had to reschedule Chicago a couple years ago because of that big snowstorm.
That was a
And so-
sold out
and
show. that we
sold
had
out
to
show at
reschedule.
Chicago at the Chicago Theater, and we had to do it like after the tour, so 2 weeks
January
later.
6th. I
Then
think we did.
when we so it was
Yeah.
kind of a little bit different. So we didn't know how it was going to go, but it went great. It was a great day. I had lunch with my buddy Grant. Shout out Grant, and
Does Grant
Yeah,
actually does he listen to your podcast?
he does now because we talked about
Okay. What up, Grant?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great to see him. I'm back, by the way.
Here we're back.
Sorry,
So but yeah,
cheers.
Denver was a great show, and then we went to Midwest City, Oklahoma.
Yes.
You
Like
flew that
this.
day, didn't you?
I did. I had a doctor's appointment that since we were supposed to have
What
a
was it
day
for?
off on Monday.
What was it for?
It was for
What was the diagnosis?
everything's all good.
I'm just
Everything's
kidding.
great.
You
We were
don't have to
supposed
tell
to
me.
we were supposed to have a day off on Monday, and I was going to drive over, but we ended up doing the Denver show, so I flew ahead, which And I realized I could have just ridden the bus and I would have gotten there earlier, but it's all good. And it was a hometown show for me, so my family came over and it was great. Good show.
That show was at a university. It was called Rose
Rose State College, yeah.
Yeah.
This microphone here, man. Just share the mic, dog.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, you broke behind mics.
You guys keep going. Keep going.
Just share the mic with
Yeah,
Rome.
share the mic, man. I don't like to share the mic though.
Hey, don't give him the mic, man. Yeah, take it over now.
Hey,
It's just a mic, Jerome. It's not a solo.
Oh, sorry, but I thought this podcast was about me.
It is.
It's-
And then we recap the shows.
It's
So
partly about you.
Oh, so this is what you
That-
guys
that
do.
part's over.
You recap the show.
We talk about the shows. Yeah, we talk
Yeah.
about what's coming down.
This is like
Check
two of y'all,
1, 2,
probably, but
2.
like
Here we go.
I was free.
Anyway.
Which was good
yeah,
I don't know. I don't listen.
Anyway,
because
yeah.
they're gonna compare us, already.
Rose State.
Rose State.
It's not a real theater backstage. It is, but it's not. It's
It's-
not like dressing rooms.
Okay,
It's
so I'm
like
crazy.
It's like
in the
very.
middle of a college kind
Yeah.
of thing. It's just a weird.
It's a shared
set up
space
all
with the,
around.
with the college
yeah, so
kids.
it's kind of people coming in and out.
But I thought the show was good. It's always good there.
Like that dressing room.
I feel like the audience is always,
Yeah.
really good there.
Unique thing about the Oklahoma shows is we sing Oklahoma at the end from the musical Oklahoma.
I gotta learn it.
Some of you guys,
Yeah.
I have no idea
Some of you guys
any
do,
of the
yeah.
words. I'm
So
like,
in
oh,
Oklahoma, for people-
words.
I
so
said O-L. I'm glad they said
Oh,
that.
okay.
OL. We're not editing.
Yeah.
The funny story about this is when I moved to Oklahoma, this was like 10 years ago. I went to the double A team we had downtown. It's called the Drillers. Shout out Robert Hubbard, his dad owned it.
The Drillers?
The Drillers, like oil drilling.
It's about dentists.
Yeah.
It's a team
So-
of dentists.
They played like to do baseball games. They play Take Me Out to the Ball Game with the 7th inning stretch, and then it went into Oklahoma, and everybody started singing. I was like,
Wow.
everybody
nice.
knows this?
Yeah.
And my wife now, then girlfriend was like, yeah, everybody knows this song. We sing it out all the things. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So then a bunch of years ago in the show, I'm like, let's see if we can sing this at the end of the show. I bet they'll all sing it with me.
And they,
And
yeah.
they do, and
they
they
did.
did, and it's a great time.
We're like the stars and it.
Exactly, exactly.
But it's longer.
It's a lot
So-
longer.
So long.
It's harder
It's
than
so long.
to,
Do
it's
they use
harder
this for the
to
University
remember
of
the
Oklahoma?
lyrics.
Oklahoma University?
No, it's the musical.
From the musical.
Yeah.
But do they use that? I'm saying as a rallying cry at the games.
Like at Oklahoma University. I
No,
don't
they
know.
have Boomer
Boomer
Sooner
Sooner.
is their thing.
I think they might sing it too. I'm not sure. I should know that though.
I think stinking at football this year is their thing.
Hey, oh,
It's
could say
been
that.
fun being on this tour this year because we've done a
Yeah.
lot of SEC towns. We did Auburn. We've been in other places in Alabama, down in Texas, and Oklahoma,
Mhm.
and getting to rib the audience about the fact that Indiana is ranked higher than all their teams is hilarious because nobody gets like mad about it because it's Indiana. Like no
Right.
we're nobody's rival. We've
Mhm.
been gifting wins forever. So that's just been a fun part. And Oklahoma was no exception. We made sure to poke fun at them.
So the next day we go to Lawrence, Kansas. You're at the University of Kansas. It was
To the
number 1 in
elite
basketball right now. So we weren't able to really have any, fourth.
What are you talking about?
yeah. What happened there?
All right. They are number 1 right now
Oh, in basketball, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
in basketball.
So we
So we
totally
couldn't
stayed
have
away.
had
from-
any
Yeah.
back and
Well,
forth
we were
there.
back on football.
It had been
It's a
since 2009 since we were there. It was a great show. The audience there is great. A lot of our audience, I think,
Right.
that usually comes to Kansas City was at that show, and I'd love to go back there.
It's a nice
That was
theater.
great show.
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
I
Get
got to-
backstage.
I got to walk by Allen Fieldhouse.
It was
where they
Luke
play
Bob's
basketball.
birthday,
It
I
was
believe.
Luke Bob's
Luke's
birthday.
right?
Luke Bob's birthday.
He-
catering there.
He's 21. No, he's not.
Catering.
It was good. It was in
was-
that room on the side with
Yeah,
the
no, but
piano
we
and
can-
stuff.
See, folks, I'm all
Yeah.
about catering. If
Chicken.
you've got good catering
Probably chicken,
and good
salad,
dressing rooms,
Yeah.
I'm in.
deli
Like-
sandwiches. Oh, they had pre-made.
turkey clubs. Yeah.
Mhm.
Remember
Yes,
that?
they did.
Yeah.
It was good. The sourdough bread
Yeah.
was on point.
It was tight. Like in backstage on the loading
You
dock
guys
where
get
the,
deep, right? We're supposed to talk.
No,
about
it's good. Yeah, it's just funny.
where the laundry was, one of the School of Music students was there practicing piano and he was
Yeah.
crushing it. So it was like
So good.
getting to do your
It's a
laundry.
very
while-
random place for that piano. I was like, this is.
Yeah, people think we have glamorous life. We do our own laundry, folks.
yeah.
Our own
Oh, yeah.
laundry.
Yeah.
That was one of the
You know,
questions.
It was one. of
Yeah,
the
right.
No, one question that I got. Yeah.
We do. We have to.
Like
we're-
getting to do your laundry while listening to Chopin is nice.
And then the next night we go to Dallas, the Majestic. Is that right?
That is
No.
Yeah.
where-
But another thing
Theater.
on Lawrence is we had to do one set there,
Oh yeah, that's right.
which is fine, but it's not ideal for merch.
No, not at
Because
all.
the majority of people buy merch at intermission.
Mm-hmm.
So the data shows that
The Dead.
shows that are one set generally do horror
And it's
and
rare to
merch.
do one set.
At a theater
outside
like
of
that,
a casino.
yeah.
Yeah.
At-
Usually
at a casino,
casinos are
yeah.
like one set. We
Yeah.
want these people out on the floor gambling.
Sure.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
This one didn't really make a lot of sense. I don't.
These
wondering
people
why.
also wanted to go home and gamble.
Yes.
On
Can you-
sports.
Can you bet in Kansas?
You can.
Oh yeah, that's right. you
Yeah.
can. But yes. Then we play the Majestic.
So we go to
Boys.
Dallas. We play Majestic.
Gentlemen,
It's a good theater.
just played to Majestic.
My sister-in-law was in the house. We had a bunch of friends in the house. I think that happens a lot in the bigger cities like Dallas or
Yeah.
So for
Chicago
for
or
me
whatever,
on
so-
family when the shows, it's the most nerve-wracking and the one show that I don't understand why I get nervous about performing in friends and family.
Yeah, I mean, you want
And they, yeah, and I know they're the ones that won't judge me. And if I do have a bad night, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is for me, but it's the one thing that I get the most
Yeah.
nervous of performing in either my
Yeah.
hometown
yeah,
or
absolutely.
the
no doubt.
family.
I always think when I first got in this group, I used to get really nervous for hometown shows, and it's like the one show that you shouldn't be. But then over the years, I've started to realize that.
Hey, Phil.
Shout out
Hey,
Phil,
Phil.
who just had a
FYP.
cameo.
Was
There-
that our fan?
in the past however many years, whatever, I've started to believe they're on your team. They want you to do. They want you to succeed. So
I don't know what
yeah.
it is. Like, I should lay on the couch and talk to someone about it.
I think it has to do with we're like real silly on stage and stuff, and it's easier to do that. It's easier to do that in front of strangers, right? Because they don't know you. They don't know how you are off stage, on stage,
Mhm.
whatever. So
Yeah.
it's easier to just
Easier to be loose.
just
Loosey
throw it all
goosey.
to the wind, and rather than have someone see him be like, why is he doing that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That
That's
makes
not what he does.
Side note: you can edit this out, but I think I had Turpin Anytime Boy plus 800.
Love it.
I had Joe Mixon anytime boy.
Love it.
Oh my goodness.
There may or may not be a football game going on in the background
Yeah,
of this podcast. right now.
uh,
So the next night, we go to Galveston, Texas, which we have not been to ever.
Never.
I've never been there. That was
Houston
there either.
is
don't get
a
water. It's good time.
stop
Oh, it gets
that we make sometimes, but
I think Houston
for some reason
I think
it
it's
just
dead for us.
It's never really worked out. So this year, we go to Galveston, which is about 45 minutes away. The owner of the theater loved having us there. She was like, I think she told me and Steve, she was like, I've been wanting to get you guys here for a long time.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a great show. The room was a little smaller. It was like 900 seats, maybe like 1,000 seats. It was almost sold out. It was a great day. It was an awesome show. I think we'd all love to go back, right?
yeah, good
Yeah.
weather. I walked down by the water. It was awesome. Beautiful day.
Yeah, it was beautiful. That place is beautiful.
And I do have to say, I think that was the show. I don't know which one it was. It was either that one or the night before. There was something that happened in the show with Luke Bob where he lost his lyric.
Oh my gosh, that was the show.
It was one of the shows down there where he missed when he was supposed to come back in, and he was a little bit early or he was late or something. And
He came in early on
he
the
came in early. It was a
re-entry on the-
situation where he could have lost the whole song. And he was able
I stopped
I don't know
singing
how-
to try to help him if he was gonna get.
yeah,
off.
so he was able to figure it out, and I just thought, man, he was a pro in that moment, and I just wanted to shout him out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
told him afterwards when Freedom was doing his intro, I was like, I'm glad you had that happen
Yeah,
because now you can handle
he
it.
didn't freak
So
out. he
you
didn't
never have to worry
panic.
about that again. Your instinct is going to be the right one every time something like that happens. Because, like Jerome said, we've all
Yeah,
been there.
yeah.
You come in early, you come in late, you mess up the lyrics, whatever. But the recovery is everything.
That
And
shows your growth as a musician.
it shows that he can handle it. So it's like,
I remember Jerome on the Yacht Rock tour. He kept coming in early. Keep
That's a perfect example. That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think it actually happened twice. So he was early, and then he was late, and then on his next attempt is when he got it. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, that was really cool.
So
Because
for
after
those-
you miss it the first time, you're like, oh shoot, I'm lost. There's
Yeah.
no way I'm coming back in. on
yeah,
this.
it's hard to get back on track.
And then he got it, and it was like,
Pun not intended.
nice
And
work.
the blood that rushes to your face, it's weird.
Oh,
just like
it's
it-
obvious, right?
And I turned back.
Yeah.
I remember I turned back to you guys. I'm like, somebody's help me.
Yeah.
It's just like you're
Yeah.
grasping for the words or
It's so
something.
weird.
I had it the other day. I was about to do because I had messed up Joy the day before, and I did the same verse over and over again.
Yeah.
And right before the song, I was like, "Oh no, I'm having a brain fart. What is the lyrics? What are the lyrics?"
Yeah.
And I think it was Josh was like, "You got it.
Yeah.
You'll get
Yeah.
it. You'll get it." And I was like, "I did get it," but I was like, "Oh my gosh,
That-
that's a nervous. That's
Mhm.
nerve." Oh, And the thing is,
it's sheer panic.
we
in
have an
those moments.
audience that's not going to care.
Yeah.
No, or
Yeah.
notice most of the time.
But it's
You know what I
crazy
mean?
how that muscle memory is such a thing where like if you change just
Absolutely.
I remember when we used to do a couple years ago when we did Shut Up and Dance as the encore, but then one show we put it in the set, and for whatever reason I did something different and I totally forgot the words to the first verse. I was like, I don't know what the words are.
Man, I totally get that. And it's the worst feeling in the world. So the next night we go to San Antonio, which was really nice. It was a new theater. Last time we played the
Ooh,
Majestic
that was
there.
nice.
This
Tobin Center was sick.
it was called the
dude.
Tobin Center.
Beautiful theater.
Was that with the good tacos in the morning, the fajitas?
No, that was Galveston.
Oh,
But
shout out to that.
the catering at the Tobin Center was sick. It was the shredded pork and smoked chicken for lunch,
Ooh,
and
that's
the
right.
dinner was they had those little
Right.
avocado bowls.
Oh,
Mhm.
those were cool.
They had the black bean soup. They had chicken thighs and
We like
something
food.
else.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all have a weight problem 'cause we can't wait to eat. Because
But that venue was sick,
Yep.
and the crowd was awesome.
Yeah.
And I think the audience agreed that it was just a much better experience there than at the Majestic, because this was like brand new, and the
Yeah.
Majestic's a little
And
bit older theater.
I don't know, Jerome, if you want to talk about who was there that day and kind of what happened with that group of guys.
yeah, so a fraternity of guys, Theta Chi, they have this thing called Resolute Men, and what they do is they pick out some of the elite from different schools who are interested in a
All
certain
across the country.
all across the country.
Cool.
They're not all the same, and they have a passion or a liking or an interest in our business. So there was about 11 of them that got to come out and they got to see the ins and outs of our business. Most of them want to be behind the scenes, production, management,
Yeah.
business. But there was two of them that were performers. And look, I encourage this for all of us. If you're in an area that you have people that are interested in what we're doing, to bring them out to see, hey, what we came from, our humble beginnings, like you are with your podcast with these wired mics, and
Every
you know,
podcast uses
yeah,
wired mics.
yeah, and
It's just the cables that suck.
oh, cable. Which, but wait, about to choke myself.
We'll get there.
It's a Collins cable.
Yeah,
We'll get there. We'll get Bob
No,
to fix them.
Yeah, okay, we be wireless player. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So these young men have an interest in what we do, and they came back, and I told them, look, we had wire mics, we had these little stands for our stage. We had nothing. We weren't where we are today. So to see them guys come back and see them hanging a video wall for an a cappella show,
Yeah.
just seeing all these lights and all these things, they were just floored by the fact that if you, like we did,
Good.
take a risk, but full force take a risk, this is what it can become. And then we love, like we said earlier,
But all the
we
while
love-
knowing that like it is a risk. I mean, this
Absolutely.
life is rare. I'm not saying that we are rare as individuals. I'm just saying
Being in our position.
being in our position, having this life is a long shot.
It's
And I
like
think a
making
lot
it
of
as a
them-
professional athlete.
Yeah. So I think you were in there, and then I know Sean was in there too.
our whole crew is there. Yonin came and sat down, told him about what
Sound.
he does, the sound. He showed him how
Right,
he
speaking to all of them about
he
every
told 'em
different job.
how
in
he
the-
fills
yeah.
a room, how he what's that?
But it wasn't just our touring crew.
Yeah, we had our
Brits-
publicist
Brits
Ashley.
came in. Our
Yeah.
David Brits came
Our
in.
publicist
Ashley,
and-
our publicist came in. They just got a
they got the full gamut.
Cool
of-
opportunity for those.
Yeah,
guys.
super
cool.
cool
And they got
and
to ask-
rare.
They got to ask the whole group questions at sound check. So they really got.
and we love this. So we
Cool way
always
to give
encourage
back,
any
yeah.
of these young groups that are want to come out and learn and see. We had an a cappella group that was so excited yesterday in the side.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
were
that's
so
right.
excited.
Oh.
No, they only had one
Yeah,
I know,
tenor
just kidding.
and 8 baritones. And, you know,
yeah. The guy was like, "Can I? Are you guys
I always
auditioning?"
like to ask people to sing when they
Yeah.
come through the line, just
yeah,
for fun.
we
He-
know this, Mike.
He was like, "Are you guys auditioning?" I was like, "What part are you?" He goes,
Yeah.
"Baritone." I was like, "Nope,
Good luck.
we are
we got a lot of
chock
those.
full on baritone."
It's like
lot
I
of
can
those.
fit, fucking fit in wherever. It was like, what else? Other part can you? I can sing tenor too. It's like we're all set on those too.
Yeah,
good.
we're
whatever.
good. We're good and everything.
Yeah, no, look, but that's cool. That somebody is so wants to be a part of this.
Mhm.
That's it makes me feel old, but it makes me feel honored. when
But
people say
imagine
that.
if you were
I
in
really-
college and you had that access and you got to experience what those kids just got
Yeah,
to
like
experience.
if you,
Amazing.
the real
That's
group,
sick.
if you got to meet the real group or whatever your favorite acapella group was back then.
Rockapella,
Rockapella.
the
Rockapella.
blenders.
Kidding?
One-
Yeah. No.
This
that-
guy was the biggest Scott Leonard fan on
Yeah,
the planet.
I sure was.
If you got a
Sure
chance
was.
to meet that guy back then, come on.
Yeah.
You should have seen Tyler. Okay,
Oh God.
when we went to see Mark Broussard in Nashville.
Jerome's episode.
No, let's go to this
Oh, yeah.
one. Time out.
The drum part's over.
Oh, hey,
We went to see
video?
Mark Broussard in Nashville, and we ran into some friends, Tim Faust, and Tim Faust had a friend with him, and Tyler. I literally had never seen Tyler. He was like shell shocked. He was starstruck, like I'd never seen. And it was Jeff Thatcher from Rockapella. Tyler was legitimately.
Yeah.
We met and talked to Mark Broussard after the show, and Tyler was not as starstruck as meeting Jeff Thatcher.
It's people that you listen to growing up and have an influence on your life. Clearly,
No, it's
It
awesome.
was like I felt like stupid for doing it at the time. But it was just like you don't know how to act. You're like, oh my gosh! Like I watched.
Yeah.
There was this Rockapella live DVD that my buddy Adam Rich and I watched probably 100 times.
It's great.
Oh,
It's always fun to meet those people like that.
and he was the nicest dude. He was pretty cool too. So
So after San Antonio, we had the last show of the week, which was last night in Lubbock, Texas,
Another beautiful
which
venue.
this is our second time there, maybe third time there.
Second,
Really nice place.
beautiful. Buddy Holly performing.
Just a nice way to end the week, except for the show was a little bit earlier, but that's okay. Sunday show, 7:00. That's fine. But I thought it was a nice way to end the week. There was a moment there in the afternoon where I think all of us were in the same room. We're just watching football and
Yeah, it was
stuff. I think you might have said, Tyler, it was like that rarely ever happens that
I
all
was
of
like,
us
wow,
are in the same
all
room.
9 of us are in here right now. We do
You
love
know.
football, but
No, no, it's
like
just
kind of shows
interesting to
the
see that.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was a sick venue. Crowd was great.
Yep.
It was a little lighter crowd, but we hadn't been there in a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome place. And then we got on the bus
Mhm.
and drove over 1,000 miles.
But I will say, I thought it was a long week, but I don't really think any of the shows were bad. I think we were all locked in, and it's also nice to get into a groove.
Yeah, we're doing nice.
They keep saying
You
it was
know,
a
having,
week,
like-
8-week show, but
It was an
eight
8-show week.
But it wasn't. It was 8 shows in 8 days.
An 8-show week.
An
Same
8-show
thing.
week is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday. It was 8 in 8 days. It's not 8 in a week.
All right,
Sorry, I
it
had
was
to say
8
goodnight to
in.
the kids.
It was
So-
8 in.
It was.
All right, 8 and 8 days
What
in
are
a
you
row.
thinking?
I'm saying you're talking about the quality of the shows weren't bad, and we had done 8 in a row. And what I was going to say to add on top of that is, when we're doing just one show a night, I think we could go. We could just go.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
We could do as many in a row as we wanted. I think once we get in
I
that
was
groove,
tired last night.
dude, one show a night isn't hard. Like when we have the 4-show weekends, that obviously
Like
like
working the
that
muscle way
is-
too much. You're wearing yourself out by
totally. But Mike just said none of these shows were like, oh man, the band is vocally fatigued. Like not once throughout this last 8-show run was anyone like,
Yeah, but if you asked everybody after the shows, I feel like the majority of the responses would be, "Yeah, I'm a little tired. I'm a little
yes,
tired."
but I think a lot of that has to do with knowing that we have this day off. So if we had
Oh,
like
you work for the days off. Yeah, for sure.
so that's the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's a lot of like placebo, like how, just your mindset. Like when you know you have the day off, you're good. Like it's gonna feel like you're more, because we always talk about after those long weekends, could you do a show tonight? And we're always
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
we do
I
that.
could. Even though we think it's like the craziest gauntlet that we just went through vocally, we're always like, yeah, I could probably do a show tonight.
Could you guys like do
If you had to,
going
Yeah,
forward?
but-
You should have every guest sing with you. Because you have
This is the original Mills Brothers.
the middle. You have
Oh my
you have,
gosh,
you have
it is.
baritone, tenor 1, tenor
This
2.
what, like how many songs did we sing for that?
We sang
yeah, I mean,
a
we
song
could,
off
but
of every
there
album.
isn't really. I guess.
No, you guys
know,
got to
we
start
could, but we
doing,
didn't
like
think
sing a
about that
hook or
before
something.
then.
You got to sing something with us. What's
Yeah.
gonna make your podcast different from everybody else just talking?
You're right.
You want to hear
Right.
us sing? Come see us at a show. SNCmusic.com.
Speaking of that, where are we going next week? Or actually, no, it's
California.
this week since we're so.
we are in Cali.
We're on the
Right,
West
so
Coast. We're on the West Coast all week.
California.
So we're Monday right now,
Nevada,
Monday,
party.
November the 18th, and this is our last week as we head into a week off for
Maybe.
Thanksgiving. We're on the West Coast this week. Where are we going to be, Seggy?
All right. So tomorrow night, which pod probably isn't going to be out yet, we're going to be here in El Cajon, which is Spanish for the Cajon, on November
Mhm.
19th. And then Wednesday on November 20th, we're going to be in Fresno
Yeah.
at the Soroyan.
Okay.
So we're going to see Jeanette there.
Yeah,
Uh,
Nice. Jeanette,
Yes,
what up?
Yep.
and then after that, we're going to move to Reading, California, on November 21st at the Reading Civic Auditorium.
I've been there in a while, so
Yep.
It's been a minute. Yeah. And then
Gotta go
on the
back there.
22nd, on Friday, we're going to be at the Elsinore Theater in Salem, Oregon. It's been a long time since we've been in Salem.
wow.
Yeah. I'm going to see.
You know people from Oregon?
Is that where the witches
whole
are?
thing with the
Yes, the guacamole.
the
sisters.
guacamole ladies or whatever.
The Guacamole Ladies. Jamie's aunt and uncle are going to come to that show.
Was there somebody that wrote some book that I
They-
was a fan of?
Yes.
Good story about the guacamole sisters.
Yeah.
First time we're sitting on a bus.
I remember. I was on
Ben?
the bus.
We get yes, Ben.
There was like
It was in
there was a
We should
big
go to Ben.
festival
Ben is
going on.
beautiful.
knock on the door.
How
Thought
close
one of
is
the guys
Ben to
didn't know the
Salem?
code.
Is it anywhere near?
I
Oh,
will look,
And a
I will
local
look at real time.
restaurant. I don't remember the restaurant name.
Okay.
But the man came on the bus and made homemade guacamole
Right on the bus.
right on the bus.
Right on the bus. We were
It was
hanging
one
out
of the coolest
watching.
things.
We were watching football.
Shout out to the guacamole sisters. That's still one of the coolest things ever. Have a person come on and make us fresh guac.
Maybe they'll come to Salem. I don't know if it was in Salem.
They always
but-
support us. They
Okay.
always support us.
Hold on, I'm looking up how far.
Things safe.
And then we go to Airway Heights.
132
on
miles.
Saturday,
Is
is
that
that right?
They
right?
don't
Wow.
a lot or not the same.
Yeah, then Airway Heights, a place I've never heard of.
I think that's
You know.
near Seattle, but not
No,
Saturday,
it's near-
November
it's
23rd.
or
near,
near Spokane. That's
Spokane,
right.
yeah.
Because when we landed there over the summer on after our
Unexpectedly.
unexpected flight,
See,
No, it wasn't that.
our flight diversion. Okay, so Airway Heights on Saturday, and then where are we on Sunday?
Okay, Sunday. I'm calling you out, Seattle.
Oh,
I'm calling you out. Sunday, November 24th. We haven't been in Seattle in a few years. Okay. In the past few years, anytime we've announced a tour or show or posted anything, we are inundated with posts from Seattle fans that are like, WTF,
Seattle
why
fans.
aren't you here?
mm-hmm.
Why aren't you
What's that
here?
stand for?
What the freak?
Cool.
Why aren't you here? Why don't you come to Seattle? Why do you keep skipping us? Why do you keep doing blah, 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 going just ham
Mm-hmm.
on us for not coming back?
Now's our chance.
Okay. Not only are we coming back, but we're bringing with us a Seattle area local
Seattle.
in my eyes. It's Dave Matthews from
Which is-
Bellingham, just a
Which is
suburb
near
of,
Seattle.
Seattle, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm looking at the ticket counts, and normally Seattle's sold out, and it's not.
It's a
So,
little Seattle light.
Calling you out, Seattle. We got a lot of seats open,
I'm
and
sleepless.
would love to have those seats filled. So
Would
come
be
on
great.
out.
Yes, we love to see you. We love it there. We love
The best way,
Seattle. It's so fun.
and the best way to get Straight No Chaser to come back to your town,
Is-
sell out the show.
Sure. Yeah,
Sell out the show.
absolutely.
So the Moore Theater, the historic Moore Theater. There's been a ton of comedy
Have we
specials
been there before?
filmed there. Yes,
we have.
A bunch.
a handful of times.
Okay.
And that's the show right before we go home for the week for Thanksgiving, which we are all really looking forward to. It's always a nice 3-4 days off as we head into the meat of our holiday season. And we can't wait to see all of you as we head east here. But we are going to have a great week here on the West Coast. We've loved having you on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks.
Yo,
man.
Jerome,
this was
thank
some
you
stuff,
so
man.
much,
Hey,
Jerome, for
congratulations
joining us.
on y'all this. Let's keep it growing.
Dougie has a thing that he likes to do at the end of the podcast. So,
What's that?
So I'm gonna do two things. You got to
I'll
make
let him
this
do that for
one,
you.
make it a little quick.
Okay.
But you got a one-man show.
oh yes,
It's
that's
called
right.
Rewind.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's not really a one-man show. You have a band. I don't want to discount their contributions to the show.
Milk and cookies.
But no, your band.
I know they're called milk and cookies.
Oh, okay. Jerome, you've got a solo show.
Yeah.
It's called Rewind. Where can people find out where you're performing, where they can buy tickets, how they can support you in this?
Yeah,
New endeavor.
absolutely. So go to JeromeCollinsMusic.com. I've got some upcoming shows. We got some stuff coming on. I'm excited to be closing the Napa Jazz Festival this summer, being a headliner. Rewind has been a cool collection of me doing exactly what I grew up doing, listening to this music, what made me become a singer in the first place. Listen to artists like Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, singing James Brown. Those, I wouldn't be where I was if it weren't for those artists. So I'm just giving them a little shout out, but what it meant to me.
It's a
not just-
Motown show, right?
It's a Motown
Motown.
show and beyond. We do things like Shaka Khan and Luther Vandross, who aren't in the Motown, but around
Adjacent,
that, yeah, the
Motown
genre
adjacent.
around that.
And when are you going to be on the road next?
I'm hoping we're setting up some things here in January, so I have some things to look forward to it. Again, JeromeCollinsMusic.com for all the information.
You mentioned the Napa thing, which is
It's in June. I
next
think
year,
yeah, I
right?
think
So
it's in-
next, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll look forward to that. That'll be
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and I'm going to be posting a lot about it coming up, of course, closer to it. Hope to have some special guest artists in the house. It was an incredible run that I had with. It was a great day. Thank you for Small Town City.
yeah. Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah,
that was a lot of
they
fun.
came
Yeah.
and opened it, Andy. What an incredible vibe. But yeah, this
Yeah, it
has
was
been
fun.
fun.
Thank
But
you,
thank you for shouting out Rewind. We'll keep it going, bring some new
Yeah.
stuff. But that's the beauty. See, this is the beauty of being in a group like this, where we're able to spread our wings because we're all under this Straight No Chaser umbrella. How cool is it that another entity of another branch of our business? So I'm proud of you guys to be doing this like this
Yeah,
because
thanks, man.
just like we just talked about, if you don't take the risk to do something,
That's right.
Yep.
I don't care if you guys have 54 viewers or 5,400 viewers or 54,000. Hey, let's
Still doing it. That's
Yeah.
right. Right.
and do what you like.
High tide raises all ships, right?
Oh, nice. I love that saying. That's very nice.
So once again, that's JeromeCollinsMusic.com for all the information about Rewind, Jerome's solo show. Now, Jerome, I want you to look directly in the camera, and I want you to say one word or one phrase to leave the viewers and listeners with to close out the episode. But before you, don't forget to follow us on all the socials at Unofficial Official Pod.
So bottom.
Email us at unofficialofficialpod@gmail.com with your questions, name, where you're from, share the show. And actually, we have a sponsor today.
Do we?
Yeah. So let's do a quick commercial for our sponsor. This week's sponsor is Traditional Medicines Throat Coat Tea. It's,
So they're unofficial sponsor.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Official sponsor.
I don't have the packaging, but it's throat coat.
Mm-hmm.
Drink it with hot water, honey, and tea.
There is a lemon echinacea one.
There's a eucalyptus one.
The eucalyptus.
They have many flavors.
Many flavors.
But it's great to keep your voice healthy when you're on the road. Once again, that's Traditional Medicines Throat Coat.
Here.
Indeed.
All right. All the business aside, one word, one phrase into the camera to end the episode.
Inspired.
I like it.
Love it.
Like
All right.
it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode number 16 of the Unofficial Official Podcast. Rome, we are really thankful to have you here, man. It's been
Thank
awesome to have you.
You get the class going.
Ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, Jerome Collins.
Thank
you,
you,
Jerome, so much.
Great.
For
Support my
Mike and
voice.
Segi and Tyler and Jerome Collins, this has been the latest episode of the Unofficial Official Podcast from Straight No Chaser. We will see y'all next time. Thanks for listening.
Dino. Dino's middle name right now. Jerome's middle name right now.
Alfred. All right, y'all.